Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Liam. So today what we're going to do is we're going to make strawberry jam, but we're going to do something a little bit different. Normally what you would use in a jam, well particularly strawberry, is lemon juice and pectin as additives, but I personally don't like either in my jam. In fact, I think the lemon juice ruins it. And as for pectin, I just don't think it's necessary, and it gives the jam a different texture that I just don't like. So, what we're going to do is, instead, we are going to be making strawberry jam with balsamic vinegar. Yes. Now, it's a match made in heaven, and if you haven't tried it, well, strawberries and balsamic vinegar for dessert, you are in for a surprise. So, let's begin. So, first of all, what I'm going to do is I have 5 liters of strawberries that I'm going to just hull and cut up, and that's going to take a few minutes, and I bet you'll be sitting there all bored watching me do this, so I will just do it and be right back. So what I've done here is I've taken the strawberries, I've divided them into 2. This has a total of 6 pounds between these 2 pots. This has 4 pounds and this has 2 pounds. You don't want to crowd the pots because this will bubble up majorly. You don't want to burn yourself. Sugar is not a nice thing to get on your skin when it's bubbling. So essentially what I've done here is I've weighed everything carefully, and basically I've taken approximately 2/3 of the weight of the strawberries in sugar and added that to the mix. So what's going to happen next is we're just boiling this at high temperature. Same with this one, although since I only have one induction hot plate I have to use this. And what we're going to do is boil this down. I've also added, as you can see, the dark stuff is balsamic vinegar. This pot contains 1 cup, and this is half a cup. So, I've also mashed them up just slightly. I will continue to do this throughout the cooking process. And what we're going to do is boil this down for a little while, and then we will see you in a bit. Now, one of our pots here is actually at a rapid boil now. I'm actually going to turn the exhaust fan on, because it does get quite steamy in here. This one, as you can see, it needs to boil ferociously like this. And you have to keep stirring it. And this is vital because we're actually cooking this at a very, very high temperature. This is on high. And the idea is you want to cook the water out of the strawberry mixture here and get it down to quite a thick syrup of sorts. And it's going to take a little while, maybe about half an hour to 45 minutes until you reach the desired thickness. This one is still coming up to a boil. It does have more in it, but it will take a little while. So just make sure you're tending to this. Don't walk away, because you could end up burning this, and you really don't want that. So we will see you in a little bit. Okay, and this is after about 18 minutes of cooking on the smaller pot. The other one is still bubbling away. It still has quite a fair bit to go. But this one here, I would say, is about 10 minutes from being done. This is sort of starting to get thick. What I've done is I've actually turned the heat down slightly to medium-high, and we're just going to continue cooking this a little bit longer. It does look a little bit dark, but that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. There's balsamic vinegar in it after all, and I'm just going to continue stirring this one. This one I would say is going to need about, how long do we have on that? 24 minutes, so I would say about that. We'll look at it in about 20 minutes. This still has quite a ways to go. After all, it is a larger volume. This one, on the other hand, is starting to look done, but I would say it needs just a little bit more. Maybe not even 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. So we will see you then. And what I've also done is I've taken the lids of some jars, I've put them on the stove, and pretty soon we're going to be boiling that. As for sterilizing them. I also have the other the jars in the dishwasher. I've sterilized them in there using a high temperature wash and a sani rinse, and to ensure everything is nice and clean. So we will see you shortly. Fast forward about 3 minutes, and I believe this one is done. So what I've done is I've actually removed it from the heat. Yeah, this is absolutely perfect. This is about as far as I can get it. So what we've done is we've taken it off the heat, and this one is going to continue boiling for a little while, but we're going to boil it down to this consistency right here. This is what you want. Sort of quite thick. You don't want it burnt, and it's just about burnt. But you want to get as much of that water out as possible. That's what we've done here. So this is just about as much as it can take. This one here is still going to need probably another 20 minutes before it's done, but we're just going to keep our eye on it, and once it gets to that consistency there, we will take it off the stove, and then we'll let it cool for a few minutes, and then we'll start jarring it. See you then. Alright, so this one here is about 90% done. I would say probably, 4 minutes is a good accurate amount of time. Now, especially during these last few minutes of cooking, it will spit, and you really want to wear an oven mitt while you are stirring this, and otherwise you will get scorched. You certainly don't want that, because this is extremely hot, and this can take off skin, potentially, if you're not careful. So, once it comes to a syrupy consistency like that, like a really, really thick consistency, then you will want to take it off the heat. So yes, about 4 more minutes, and this will be complete, and we actually have our lids sterilizing there, just in the meantime, and we will see you in a few minutes once this is done. Okay, and now we are at our desired consistency, so I've turned the heat off, and what we're going to do is we're just going to let it sit for a minute while I set up the jars. Now, as I mentioned, I have the jars in the dishwasher here, and what we're going to do there is we're just going to dry off the outsides a little bit, and then we're going to fill them. And how we're going to actually do this is I'm going to take a baking sheet and I'm going to place everything on it, and then what we're going to do is bring the hot pot over here so that I can put the hot liquid in there so that it will seal. Good to use some kind of a heat-resistant surface. Unfortunately, I don't have that here, but what we're going to do is we're going to take a broiler pan and invert it and use that. So just give me a minute while I set up, and we will be right back. Okay, so now what I've done here is I've moved everything over to the counter. I'm using this inverted broiler pan to protect the surface. I'm using the top of the broiler pan to help me protect the surface here too. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this ladle to take the hot mixture to put it in the jars, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these tongs right here to take one lid out of each put it on each jar there. So let's do that. So take a ladle of the jam, and you want to fill this up most of the way, not all the way. Be careful that you don't get it anywhere. Okay, so maybe about 1.5 of these ladles is sufficient. Perfect. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take one lid, and unfortunately they can be a little bit tricky to separate. Just make sure you have one. and stick that on there. Perfect. And then screw that on quick. Get that on there. Okay. And you can tighten it fully later. Just keep going here. Another ladle full of jam. And another half. Okay. And then another lid. And just keep repeating until you are done. Just make sure that top is really clean. Okay. Oh, I need another lid. All my lids are here. I'll just screw that back on. And just keep repeating until this is all done. I'm just going to do this, and we will see you in a few minutes once that's done. Alright, so I'm done putting all the lids on, and what I did was, as I said, I took the lids out of this pot of hot water, put them on the jars that had been sanitized in the dishwasher, and we very, very carefully ladled the jam into each one of these jars. There is a little bit left of this one. What you can do is allow it to cool and then put it in a plastic container or another mason jar or whatever you may have lying around, and it will actually keep in the refrigerator for quite some time. As for this stuff, it should be put in a cool place and hope that the lids snap down as they are supposed to. So, thanks for coming into my kitchen, and have a great day.